Let me tell you about the birds and the bees and the flowers and the trees and a thing called love. There's people coming. They heard me singing. Okay, sorry, I'm just gonna tell you about the birds today. I don't really know a whole lot about bees and love, really. So continuing my series on endangered and threatened species in Ontario that I'm going to be looking for while I'm in Frontenac Park, backpacking for Ontario nature. The first one, and this is a rather interesting one, is the bald eagle. Yes, that bald eagle. They are common all over North America, from the northern reaches down to Florida, and even found as far south as central Mexico. They were removed from the endangered species list in 2007, but they are still a species of concern. So I'll be looking for bald eagles in the park. I don't know if they are there at that time of year, but I hope to see them. I don't think I've ever seen a bald eagle here in Ontario. I have seen them when I'm in British Columbia visiting, and in states. I'm about to be attacked by a floppy dog. I hope it has people somewhere. Okay, well, it was a ginger-colored doodle dog of some sort. It just ran over there. I don't know if it lives in the neighborhood, but it seemed to know where it was going. I hope it's not lost, but I don't see any people following it, so maybe that's him barking. So another bird that I will be looking for is the barn swallow. Barn swallows are threatened in the area in Ontario, and they prefer nesting sites that are made by man. So if you have a shed or a barn or an overhanging structure, you may have barn swallows nesting there. I have seen barn swallows before. They are beautiful. They have gorgeous feathers, and if you get too close to their nests, they may dive bomb you in the forehead. I have got hit in the forehead by a barn swallow. In the 1800s, because they are so pretty, in the 1800s they were prized by hat makers because women wanted to keep the pretty feathers or the whole bird. They would have the bird killed and stuffed and stuck to their hats. And then at some point, a naturalist by the name of George Bird Grinnell wrote an article about the exploitation of birds, and so some enlightened women across North America changed their hat decoration habits, and the Audubon Society was founded. Isn't that cool? So barn swallows are very handy to have around because they eat bugs. So if you have a flock, swarm, I'm not sure what the multiple noun would be for bird, for that type of bird. So if you have some barn swallows around your property, they are keeping the bug population down. So keep them there, don't harm them, don't knock down their nests, just leave them be and let them come back, because they are beneficial to your environment. The next one that I will be looking for is Peregrine Falcon. They are a species of special concern. They are one of the world's fastest animals. They can dive up to 300 kilometers per hour. Imagine that, a bird diving 300 kilometers per hour. That's insane. And they only weigh about 1 kilo, which is 2.2 pounds. They're not very large birds. In the mid 20th century, and I remember when I was a kid, oh, here's another doodle dog of some sort, just coming down the hill. That one had people and it ran off after a squirrel. So in the mid 20th century, I remember when I was a kid in the 70s, and they were talking about the declining populations of peregrine falcon and some other raptor type birds because of the use of DDT, I think it's a herbicide, and it's no longer being used because it was endangering these birds. They were unable to have viable eggs. When the females laid eggs, the shells were so soft that even when the female was laying on them to keep them incubated, the shells would break. So the populations declined considerably until they stopped using DDT, and then it took some time for the populations to recover, and they still have not recovered entirely. The Ministry of Natural Resources tracks peregrine falcons. So if you happen to see a peregrine falcon, notify the Natural Heritage Information Center near you and let them know where it was that you saw it, and if you have like the general coordinates, you can give them that. So the last one, and this is one that has a very pretty song that you would probably recognize if you ever heard it. The Eastern whip-poor-will. And they call it that because its song sounds like its name, whippoorwill. When I was in Queen Elizabeth II wildlands backpacking a few weeks ago, I could hear whippoorwills quite a lot. There's a lot. I didn't see any, but I heard them quite a lot. So in Canada, you can find the eastern whippoorwill from east central Saskatchewan to central Nova Scotia. In Ontario, they breed as far north as Lake Superior, which is pretty far north. I'll post a map of Ontario to show you how far that is. In winter, they migrate down to Mexico and Central America. They prefer a mix of open and forested areas, so Frontenac Park is a perfect spot for them. They nest on the forest floor, and I was looking at pictures of them, and they are very well camouflaged, so you have to be very careful because they can be in the underbrush and you wouldn't even see them. They are so well camouflaged. I saw one photo of a whippoorwill, and it was crouched down and it looked like a coiled snake, which was, I mean, talk about camouflage. How awesome is that? It looks like its own predator. You can most often see them at dusk, and you can hear them more often than see them because they are so well camouflaged, and because of their very distinctive song. Their population loss is most likely due to habitat loss and degradation of habitat with pollution and encroachment by humans, and from invasive species that are taking up their habitat. Changes in food supply due to pesticide use is also another reason for their decline. Airplane, big bird. Hold on. So these are the 4 birds that I will be watching out for. Again, I don't know if they will be in the area or if they have already started migrating by the end of September, but I may still see them. I think some of them probably migrate a little bit later than when I'm there. So the bald eagle and the peregrine falcon are species of special concern, and the barn swallow and the eastern whip-poor-will are threatened species here in Ontario. So I will be looking for them, and hopefully I will be able to catch them on my hike while I'm out there. Thank you so much for watching, and I will leave a link below in the description to my fundraiser for Ontario Nature. The link goes through Canada Helps, and I would appreciate any help that you can offer, whether that be financial help or moral support, or even if you could just share this video or even the playlist for my fundraiser. Share it with your friends who may be interested in helping some of the endangered species here in Ontario. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you later.